It's about that time. You are about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with Canna Queen and MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts and their subsidiaries. If you aren't sure, don't worry, we'll tell you, or you can just take a good look at our faces. It's time to get this session started. Thanks for rolling up and showing up. Enjoy the show. Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
That was good. Let's see. I have to unmute everything now because I have to remember to do all of that. So if you're
muted, I'm not muted.
Yay, it was me. If you're watching on TikTok right now, you can go to solo.to/cannabiscloset420 to join us live on Twitch, Facebook Live, or YouTube. That's where we are right now, and every Monday and Wednesday at 4:20 Mountain Standard Time. This is the Cannabis Closet podcast, and I am Canna Queen, and this is MJ. What's up? Woo woo. What you got putting? What are you putting in your pipe today? I'm gonna turn my camera on TikTok because they don't like what I'm about to do.
This is still the home grow stuff from a new friend named Chris. Don't even know his last name. And I honestly don't remember what he told me it was. Because I was probably stoned when he told me.
So you have some homegrown?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
It's lovely. It's probably a little bit more on the heavier side of wanting me wanting I could totally couch potato it.
Yeah.
But I can work on it. So I'm like, whatever. Just I'm a little
That's
bit.
How I feel about
a little bit loopier on it.
I feel that way about Bruce Banner. I feel like whatever mood I'm in or whatever I got to do, I can do it. Look at all the comments today. I'm so excited. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Let us know what you're rolling up and putting in your pipes today. We want to know, or in your leafs. I have a King Palm, of course. Let me throw that banner up for you guys. If you guys want to get yourself some King Palms, go ahead and use this code KPTCCP Feb15 to get 15% off.
If anyone knows of a cool little company, I need a little bowl holder where I can
needs
just,
I need
a little company. Necklace where you can put.
Can one of y'all make one?
And then you can just because my lighter or a little pouch to set them in.
She needs a neck satchel.
Because I literally, I'm sitting on the couch today working because I didn't feel like setting up my little station over there, and
she keeps misplacing that thing.
And so I will.
It's been all day.
All day. We can probably take a count of how many times during this show I will lose my lighter.
Yeah, she's gonna lose him. Me too, though, and I'm sitting at a desk, so that's not fair. You know what I like? When we go to the Cola Lounge, they got those little lighter leashes all over the place, and they stick them under the desks and stuff. That's what I need to do.
I mean, I probably could do one right here,
and just always just reach back and light it up.
But then I'll probably whack myself in the face with it when I, let it go. I'll be clip my ear or some shit. Stuff.
10th planet in a King Palm. I love it.
I know. Shirt pockets are key. That is the key. But
I don't have any pockets.
I don't.
But there are boobs on my shirt, y'all.
Are those? They're just boobies. They're not. It's not the ladies from Hocus Pocus, right?
No, it's not the ladies from Hocus Pocus.
Do I love them?
But if anybody out there wants to make MJ a pipe satchel for her to wear around her neck, holla, because that's what she needs. We got some Florida
and everyone
days
should have one.
And 10th planet out there. I am smoking some Alaskan sweet skunk right now. That's what I have in my King Palm right now.
I'll probably switch it up, but I've got some
a buck. Y'all, I have one of those ball chairs, so I'm super comfortable too. It's great. It makes me sit up straight.
Bouncy.
Yeah, I be bouncing all day. So what are you working on today?
I was just getting ready to go back to the bubbles.
Okay.
Um,
That yes, please. And I will talk about some stuff I was reading today, this week. We'll discuss on those. So yeah, we are working on a product launch, and we are. What's up, Audrey? We are right there. We're this close. We've been talking to our distributor, producer, distributor person, and yeah, we should have a product ready, hopefully by mid-month, next month, or by the end of the month next month. We're really looking forward to it. So, oh, we got Grandpa's stash. I didn't see that one. That's probably delicious. What is the flavor profile on Grandpa's
Yeah,
stash?
I want to know more about each one. Like, so the Florida Days, Grandpa Stash, and who else?
Let's see. We got Florida Days. We got Grandpa's stash,
10th
and we
Planet.
got 10th Planet. Yeah. But yeah, so we're working on that kind of stuff. And also, those of you in here that have been in the Discord helping us with that stuff, we got our hashtag. We got it. It's gonna be so good. I will tell you it. We'll tell you.
Thank you to one of our lovely
yeah, thank you to
here
somebody in here today. Right now is the reason we have that hashtag. No lie, we're using it. I'm thinking about putting it at the top, like as an instruction. Like, maybe we put it like right at the top as an instruction. Oh, I love Blue Dream.
With what? Grenadine?
So the Florida Days is smooth and mellow, head and body high. Is it like
and the couch mellow, or like
that too? But I want to know, what is it? What is the flavor on it? I want to know, is it like tangy, or is it, because I feel like this sounds like it has some kind of like, but it could be just a fruity thing. I don't like tangies. I don't like anything strong tangy, but I do like orange and I do like fruit. But it's that what is it? That hits your tongue this in that like weird way. Like it like stabs you in tangy. It's too tangy for me. It like stabs you in the tongue, I don't like, and I think that actually, I think I've said this before on the show, but I think the reason I don't like tangy is because it just got played out. It just got played out. Like literally, you guys, every party that we go to that has free pre-rolls, it almost, we didn't do this at the Eureka, at the Marijuana Mansion, but been to a lot of parties and their free pre-roll is always something tangy, and I just can't.
I wonder why. I mean, I know, yes, I get it.
Just like an abundance.
Some are easier and more hardy to grow.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 but it's like, but
I think everything.
If you are, you can grow other things too.
I think it's not only that, but I also think it's our own fault, because a lot of, like, and this has happened. Y'all know this has happened. A lot of the different cultivars aren't different. They're not different. They taste the same. They smell the same. And so we have managed to overbreed this plant to a point where we can't even get different profiles off of it a lot of times. There's a whole thing. I want to do a show about that. There's this whole thing that I talk about, like when people ask me what's the best strain for stuff, I rarely answer that question. There are the best strain out there for the thing that ails you, whatever it is, right? There is the best strain out there. If I tell you whatever that strain is for whatever that ailment is, and you found that strain, you found that cultivar, you found it absolute, that's what it is, it would be useful and helpful. But the problem is that when you go in, me too, I like earthy flavors too, and berries. But if you go into a dispensary right now and let's say you go to 3 different dispensaries and you get Purple Kush at all 3 different dispensaries. They all carry it. And it's not from the, like, they grow it. They grow it, they carry it. So it's not like they bought it from the same guy or wholesaled it from the same guy, but rather they provided their own source of Purple Kush, right? If we took that and tested all of them, they would highly likely, one of two things happens in cannabis. First of all, Purple Kush doesn't test to Purple Kush. So if you look at the actual chemical makeup of real Purple Kush and then test what's out there that says it's Purple Kush, it is not. It is not. The other problem that we also have is that not only is it not the original cultivar, or it might be related, but it's not like close to that. The other problem is that if I go into a dispensary and I buy 3 different strains, or if I go to 3 different dispensaries and I buy 3 different strains and test them, a lot of times their chemical makeup looks the same. There's very few differences. Sometimes they're almost exactly identical and they're being called 3 different things. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of work to be done in the industry. I think we could talk about this one for hours.
I know we could.
Hours,
like literally. Like it would be really cool to do a show where we did like build it up, everyone jump on, talk about their favorite cultivar.
Yeah.
We want the profile. We want you to give us your profile, smell, taste. We want you to tell your effect. Because I tend to stick to the same names that I know. I will, I go to facilities that I, know, and so tend to have XYZ. So when new cultivars come on the market, I'm like, what is that? And where's it coming from? And what are and sometimes they'll have the genetics that they might know what it was crossbred from, but
or if it came from seed and we know where you got the seed, like we know that you got this seed from a reliable vendor.
Yeah.
There are some out there.
We want to have another grow show. I've got a couple growers, and
I definitely do.
Genetic.
I want to have a grow show in Women's History Month though, and I want to invite women growers.
I know. I put an email out to.
So if you know them.
So yes, everyone and anyone tuning in, female growers, send them our way. Do we have our? Here, I'll throw a banner up. CannabisCloset420@gmail.com.
Oh, so this is interesting. I don't know how to pronounce your screen name. Okay, but this is an interesting question. Are there strains that you can crossbreed with fruits so that when it's burned, it smells like banana or strawberry? So you wouldn't crossbreed it with another plant, right? You would have to cross it with another cannabis plant. But also, you can take natural fruit terpenes and infuse it into the cannabis naturally, as far as the cannabis sits and absorbs the terpenes out of the fruit kind of thing. So I haven't seen this process happen, but I've heard about it. And it's a natural, it's not somebody pouring oil all over the cannabis or anything. It's a natural absorption of terpenes into the cannabis plant. And that seems to work relatively well to get some of those flavors that we're looking for. So also shout out Eureka Vapor and Eureka Cure.
When are we going to have them on?
I know we need to have we need to have Kelsey and Tom on for sure. And Dom, maybe he might come on. But yeah, we need to definitely bring them on. Maybe we'll plan a Wednesday for that. Probably maybe around 420, I think, or somewhere in that. 10 Planet has high terps is it limonene that you meant to say? Myrcene, caryophyllene, great body high, very focusing body high. So I like that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you saying so. Next. Yeah, like it's interesting. I didn't even know that until recently that we could like that was a way to infuse terpenes into the plant. But yeah, it's just like if you leave an orange peel in your car kind of thing, your whole car is going to smell like that orange. It's kind of a similar situation.
Okay, I get it. That's groovy.
They did something. Oh yeah, I remember that Simpsons episode. Actually, did you see that Simpsons episode where they crossbred tobacco with tomatoes, and then people were getting like addicted to the tomatoes because they were grown with tobacco, and they were like brown tomatoes or something like that. So
I remember
that's a funny episode.
We did sit down with some plant cannabis geneticists out of Boulder, and they were definitely like, the crossbreeding of cannabis plants with other plants not really compatible. It's not going to it's not going to work. It's not going to be successful.
Yeah, generally speaking,
but
but
with that being said, infusions and other ways that we derive these.
Yeah, absorption is what it is. It's like an absorption method.
Sitting in your own stank.
Yeah. Well, hey, so about terpenes, actually, since we're talking about them, you can use terpenes. You don't have to ingest them. Terpenes can be used topically if you use the right ones. Make sure the proper dilution and all that stuff. Make sure there's no additives in the terpenes. Make sure the natural plant terpenes. I'm not going to shout out any names because I don't get paid to advertise for these people, and they could afford to pay me if I were to advertise for them. But there's only one company that I know that does cold press extraction of terpenes, like natural, just plant terpenes, not in the cannabis realm. And that's the best way to extract terpenes, is because when you heat them up, you have to be very, very careful not to hit their volatile level. Because if you go over that, then you destroy the terpene. They'll just disintegrate. So a cold extraction is always going to be better. And also heating it up just a little bit does still change a little bit the chemical nature of the terpene itself. So cold extraction is going to be better because it doesn't make that change. But you can use terpenes topically and also olfactory, so through just smelling them. That's why those diffusers that everybody has in their house, and when you go get a massage, and when you go to therapy, and when you get a haircut sometimes, and when you go to acupuncture. I don't go to acupuncture, but you know what I'm saying. When you go to all these places and they have these diffusers, it's meant to help calm you, or whatever the case may be. Can help you focus if you put the right oils in there. Be careful putting tea tree oil in your diffusers if you have animals, by the way. Sometimes they react badly to that. So I'm just, putting that out there.
Oils like that. I think there's even a list. I think that a couple responsible companies that actually have a list for ones that be a little more careful with animals.
Hey, Saya, look. So just a little hint at our little hashtag that. So I thought, anyways, a little hint at our little hashtag. If you know, you know. So yeah. Anyways, what's next? I'm not mad about anything today. I'm just anxious.
You're like, I'm just getting ready for other things. No time.
Yeah.
Angry. No time to be angry.
I'm saying there's no time for that. I am preparing for a trip. I'm going to take the whole weekend off, and I'm very excited about that because that doesn't ever happen. We always are always working, even if we're off. So this, like, literally, this never happens. I'm pretty excited about it.
I know. I'm excited that you feel relaxed enough that you're ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
compared to the beginning of the week and where we
I know. I was like, what's going on? Hey, if you guys are on watching me on TikTok and you want to see what's going on, you can check out solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. We're live on Twitch, Facebook Live, and YouTube right now. You can find us on Twitch. If you're a Twitch user, go to Cannabis Closet 420. Just go straight there. But I think that link is in my bio too. And it's also in the whatever the heading I put it. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Come hang out with us in the comments over here. You can see what we're doing too, because I have to be off camera for the fun shit. Commercial break. If you own a business in cannabis, or somebody owns a business in cannabis and they're looking for cannabis consulting, or somebody's going to open a business and they're serious about it, because we hear that all the time. Oh, I'm gonna open. Okay, well, when you do that and you're ready for us, give us a call. So we are CQ LLC. We are Cannabis Consulting and Education. We just recently got approved to teach RVT, which is Responsible Vendor Training, in the state of Colorado. In order to get your Responsible Vendor Training certification, you have to take the class through an accredited company, and that's what we are. We got approved for that. Check us out at www.cq-llc.com, or go to customer service cqllc@gmail.com, or give us a call, 970-426-5985. We'll be happy to help you out. We can help with licensing. We can help with build outs, just basic consulting. We can show up. We can do it virtually. And we do have a platform for responsible vendor training, which is a requirement in the state of Colorado for delivery drivers and hospitality workers. It's not a requirement for everybody, but it does help mitigate the circumstances if you happen to get any kind of administrative violation. So it could be good to have your employees have those certifications. Make sure your employees have those. So little advertising corner. One day I'm just going to hit a button and it's just going to play it, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore.
We're going to get there. I think that, eventually when we have a producer or time to learn how to do these things, we'll get that done.
They're still working on the Safe Banking Act, so there's some issues with banking as far as that's concerned. But we could definitely help with suggestions and potentially put you in touch with the right people to get that done. There are some, we do know of some banks that do accept us as an industry. So potential there. Today we wanted to piggyback off of Monday a little bit. Or I did anyways, because I just, right after the show, I saw a couple of articles that were right in the alley of what we were talking about. So I should have pulled it up over here so that I can talk and see this better. But so there's a couple of things. There's some things going on in Pennsylvania. Thanks for the article next. Anytime you guys see an article that you think is interesting and could be something that we would talk about, definitely shoot it over. Or if we don't, we just like to be educated about stuff. So just shoot us over or whatever. So Next sent me an article about smaller companies being sidelined in the Pennsylvania cannabis market, which is all about money and access. And then I was just right after the show, I was looking, I saw something on one of my feeds. I think it was from Sean King, to be honest with you. And it was about how New Jersey, we talked about earlier in the season, how New Jersey was rolling out this social equity program to make sure that, they were hiring the right individuals. And so they just issued all of the licensing, at least for their first round. I don't know if they're going to have another round of licensing, and they didn't issue one license to one single Black owner.
It's
how? So let me pull that story up, because I want to talk to you guys about numbers and stuff. But
That's just so crazy to me. It's just like, you can't tell me that all of the applicants were white. You can't. There's just not in New Jersey. Not in New Jersey. And so this goes back to, like, you remember, we were talking about this on Monday about how the owners of these stores and these businesses do not live in these neighborhoods. So they're not helping bring the neighborhood up. They're taking that money out of that neighborhood and they're taking it to their neighborhood.
Right.
And this is a problem not just in cannabis business, but just overall. Generally speaking. But I talk about the Killer Mike docuseries. His first episode was specifically about how long the dollar stays in a Black neighborhood versus how long it stays in other neighborhoods. And it's hours for the Black community, and it's days or weeks for other communities. So it's so interesting. And then wonder, and this is the thing too, by the way, if y'all didn't know this, I'm not going to say the year because I don't know what year it was, but, and this happened in more than one place, but, when we had segregation in this country and we weren't allowing Black people to succeed in this country, they said, well, fuck off, and went and in their community built up their communities so that they didn't have to leave their community to come and hang out with us and spend money in our neighborhoods and in our communities. They kept it all like it was Black Wall Street. There were very, very successful Black businesses all up and down the streets in this area. And then under the guise of a young Black boy flirting with a white girl, which he did not, white people came with their torches and their proverbial pitchforks and bombed and burned that shit to the ground, and then turned around and created a narrative on the news for white people to watch, to say how Black people were lazy, that they were not smart, that this is shit that was happening in the 80s, y'all, and in the 90s. It still happens today. It's more implied today than it is just straight out said. But they would say some crazy shit on the news about the difference in intelligence levels between white children and Black children without acknowledging that in Black communities, they get secondhand books or no books at all. Their teachers aren't paid enough to give a fuck. The school systems in those communities are not given any funding at all. So it's not a lack of intelligence at all. It's a lack of resources that we've continued to take away. And when I say we, I mean white people. I'm gonna say it how it is. So, we created these narratives, but anyways, now we have this situation where we are actively trying, our governments are actively trying to make excuses and push Black and brown people out of the cannabis industry. We talked about it on Monday. We talked about how Colorado was so proud to have almost 17%, which was an increase, and they met their goal before June. Congratulations, Colorado. You have 9 Black dispensary owners in 2022, when we were one of the first states to legalize.
They did a social equity measure in the last.
Just now. Don't pat yourself on the back for that. Just do the fucking work and get it done. This is fucking bullshit. Anyways. Okay, so New Jersey cannabis license applications. See if there's just news stories about it. I don't know if I'm going to find a news story about it or not. I saw it on Sean King. Oh, here we go. Here it is. There is a news story about it. Let's see, 2 days ago, 1 week ago. So we'll just go with, well, this one's from Marijuana Moment. So we'll go with that one first. It mystifies me that we haven't evolved past, yeah, past racism with all the technology and advances. We still can't get past it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You know, we love you too. We'll see you soon. And I'm so fucking happy you popped into Discord today. Oh my God. You don't even know.
Poppin'.
I don't. Here's the problem that I notice. And I definitely point it out when I notice it in my circles. There's no representation. That's one of the biggest issues. Is if we just had like 2-3 people as representatives that have experience that I will never ever have in life, to speak to those experiences in order to make a better decision about what we're doing. That's the difference. And that's why we need representation in all levels, not just on the workforce. Because listen, Colorado can talk big mouth about workforce diversity, but I want to talk about C-level diversity. I want to talk about ownership diversity. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about that Black-owned businesses don't have to be ancillary because they can't afford to get into the legal market, because there's a million reasons. Because the licensing is ridiculous, and most people just don't have the capital. But there are some people that, you know, inherited it, and so those people get a leg up. And then they've said that I'm sorry. I wish if somebody could explain it to me and tell me I'm wrong about this, please do, because I feel like that social equity ownership is bullshit. I feel like it's bullshit. I feel it's like, hey, go ask, you know, this is a very difficult industry to be successful in, and we don't think that you could do it on your own. So we're going to pair you with a successful owner in the state. And seeing how there's only 9 Black dispensary owners in the state, there's a high likelihood that you're being paired with a white male dispensary owner. So now we're asking permission to, we have to own it with them. Now I say we, I'm talking communally. Sorry. But like, I don't understand that. Like, make a social equity law that doesn't include having to own it with the people who already own too much.
Yeah, it's like you could create a fund so like, you know, that the, you know, existing facility owners can, you know, whatever. I don't know like how that should work.
Crazy me. You don't even have to create a fund. Yeah, you could just
make it capable.
Make it accessible.
Yeah.
Crazy thought, but cannabis in Colorado generates billions a year in tax revenue. Mm-hmm. And you're telling me that you still have to charge as much as you do for access to your own business, to open your own business? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you lowered the cost of the medical license.
Yeah. And then raised it back up. And then
but not up. I mean, when I first got here, it was $90 or $120. I can't remember.
Yeah, no, the registry fee. I mean, even that went down. Even by the time I got here, $65 when I first.
When I first got here was like 90 or 120 to get your medical license.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then it got down to like 15 at one point. What is it now?
On February 14th, it changes to $29.40 or some bullshit like that.
Well, fuck you, Colorado. This is another instance where I think that they're trying to fuck the medical industry.
Plus tax.
Plus tax. Oh, they're going to tax us on it now. Like it was just like a flat fee before.
Well, so it's $25 and then with taxes $26.33 like right now until February 14th. And then we'll, like I said, goes up on February 14th.
Yeah.
And fun.
Anyways, Colorado, fuck all the way off, like really.
And I forget, like, they say, oh, it's for, X, Y, and Z reasons to maintain the system. It's like, it's official now. You guys have a person that checks to see that a certification is entered. Like,
yeah,
checks their ID information.
Yeah, so it used to be high like that here too when it first happened, and then it took a little bit, but it came down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why they won't do that with licensing as well. I mean, I just feel like more. Anyways, okay, so let's see, Congress. So let's go to New Jersey. Let's go to New Jersey. Congressman is outraged over lack of diversity marijuana license approvals in New Jersey. This was a Kyle Yeager story. We kind of touched on it the other day. I think we might have touched a little bit on it the other day. But 56 marijuana retailer licenses were issued in the state of New Jersey, and not a single one went to a Black owner, which or any Black owner or somebody from those communities, which was most impacted by prohibition. So Representative Donald Payne, who is a Democrat in New Jersey, said in a press release last week that he's outraged to hear that Black-owned businesses have been shut out of the state's cannabis market, noting that Black people are significantly more likely to face arrest over marijuana despite comparable rates of use among different races. So that's been proven time and time again. We use cannabis at the same rates, maybe even I might use cannabis at higher rates than some other people, like me personally. But like the likelihood of me being arrested for it is pretty low. And even if I were arrested for it, I wouldn't get a long sentence for it. I would probably get fined or short sentence, jail time. I wouldn't get anything major. So he said that. And then also Sean King put out something about it as well. Let's see, what does this say? While New Jersey's medical cannabis program has been in effect for more than a decade, their medical program, the adult use market has yet to come online as regulators work on implementing a 2020 voter-approved reform referendum. Phil Murphy, the governor of the state, promised that the state's cannabis industry would right the wrongs of the past as it concerns social justice. Now New Jersey needs to uphold this promise, Payne said. So that's the other, the congressman. I mean, what do you say? What do you say to it?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so what's next? You called it out, and as a representative, and as
like I don't know if he has control over who.
Right. So how does he, influence, or what do we do?
Right. Well, him speaking out, first of all, that's a good start. So we need more of our representation speaking out against this kind of bullshit. Like, even if they don't have control over it and can't change it on their own, their voice helps change it. They're outraged, like, what? And then so people are paying attention to him, and so now people are going to know that this is happening too. So him speaking out about it is one of the first steps, I think. Let's see. Is this him too? Who is this? Following the vote to legalize recreational cannabis in the state, the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission saw a flood of hundreds of applications to start marijuana businesses. Advocates had hoped that the promise of reform to help correct the harms of this is what we were talking about. We talked about this in a few episodes back. But yeah, they made it public that this is what they wanted, to help correct the harms of criminalization that have disproportionately impacted communities of color would be proactively met. So they were like, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. So based on conversations I've had with stakeholders, out of 56 licenses awarded to date, none has been awarded to Black-owned businesses. And people need to know what's going on. And this is a quote from African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey President John Harmon. Many Black-owned businesses have been trying to get into the cannabis industry since 2012, when cannabis for medicinal purposes became legal in the state of New Jersey. No Black-owned business received a license back then, and none has. I mean, come on, you guys. Back then or now, like at all.
Or now, like, and I would love to hear any, from any applicants, like, where
like, I would be outraged about it, because I guarantee, I mean, not one single Black applicant met the requirements, not one. Or you're saying that no Black applicants applied? What are you saying? What is it that's happening right now? What is your excuse for this? So that's crazy. That's crazy. The CRC needs to expedite its review and award of licenses submitted. Minimally, the CRC, which is the organization that reviews and awards licenses. Minimally, the CRC must immediately score and notify applicants of their conditional status. If necessary, additional resources must be allocated to the license review process so that applicants cease to be adversely impacted financially by the unjustifiable protracted process. So this is interesting that he says that too, because we talked about this on Monday, but like when you are applying for a cannabis license, you have to have all your ducks in a row. That means that you have to have your location set, which means that you're probably paying rent on a property that you're not making any money off of. It means that you have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account to show that you can cover your expenses. It means that you have to have approval from everybody. You have to have contractors in there doing certain things and setting up certain things to get those approvals. And then at the end of all of that, they can deny your license. At the end of setting everything up and paying rent for months, waiting on license approval, and paying for your license application, which is thousands of dollars. After all of that, after spending all of that money, and you don't get a single dime of it back. You don't get a single fucking dime of it back. You can't write any of it off. None of it can be written off. You don't get any of it back. So people are risking this. And you're telling me not one single applicant, not one single Black applicant met the criteria for licensing in the state of New Jersey? In the state of New Jersey? And also, I think it should be, honestly, I think it should be a rule that you, if you are opening a business in specific neighborhoods, that you have to be from that neighborhood or in that community,
right? Or
because that's part of the problem.
You have to give back, like some kind of give back to the community, and
or like a percentage of your proceeds has to go into that community. It has to, because that's part of the problem, is that these white men and women are making their money in Black communities, and then they're taking that money home to their white families, and Black communities aren't seeing a fucking dime of it. They're not seeing it on their roads. They're not seeing it in their schools. They are the workforce and they are the consumer, and that is all that they get from it. And they're the reason that these businesses are successful, and yet they don't reap the rewards from it ever at all. Their community won't reap the rewards. The employees that work in those facilities, a majority of them will not reap the rewards. As a matter of fact, a majority of them won't make it to management, but some of them will only make it to management, and they will not make it past management. They won't make it into a C-level position. There is no growth opportunity in these stores that are not owned by people who live in those communities and work in those communities and sleep in those communities and wake up in those communities. New Jersey, you can't make a promise publicly and then like that shit's over, you guys. That shit's over. You can't publicly make a promise and then renege on it and expect us to pretend like you didn't say what you said. We heard what you said. We heard what you said. We were excited for you guys. We were proud of you guys. We're like, yes, that sounds amazing. That's going to be awesome. And now you're telling me out of 56, not a single. But how?
How? Well, we know how. We know why.
And just to be clear for anybody who I don't think anybody in our audience, in our live audience right now, likely feels this way, but anybody that listens later and you might feel this way, I'm not putting down, it's not all white people. Okay. Like, check it out. And I'm not even putting down white business owners. Be a white business owner, but like, pay attention to your privilege and be cognizant of what your privilege is and where you are conducting business. Number one. And it's not your fault you got issued that license, right? It's not your fault that you're rich, right? It's not your fault. But be responsible with that. And where was I going with this? I'm not trying to say that in the cannabis space that there should be an equal number of Black-owned businesses versus white-owned businesses, although that would be lovely. I would love that. I would love to see that. But that's not even exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there should be representation per capita, and there's not.
Mm-hmm.
There's more than 0% Black people in New Jersey. Let's start there. There's more than 0% Black people in New Jersey. And you have 0% Black ownership in 10 years of legalization in the cannabis space. The fuck? How? How do you get this far, Colorado? How do you get this far, New Jersey? And how?
This doesn't bode well for as the rest of the nation comes online. If we can't even stand up for our medical patients here, stand up for the plant, we're in for a rude awakening. I mean, if the government and what they'll do if we continue to just let them go without representing us, representing the industry, representing us. We have a right to speak. I think there's so many, the beginning too, patients being like, oh, I'm going to just kind of chill. I want to be in the spotlight. Or it's like, well, everyone's in the spotlight now. It's time for everyone to, stand back up. It's like, you did it to get medical. You did it to get started initiatives. It's like, all right, well, we can't get complacent now. It's like, fire up the whatever.
Right.
Fire up whatever makes you, run around like.
Mine's is Bruce Banner. But I'll say, like, when I first started in this industry, I was like, oh man, it's cool. We got legalization. And then, because I am who I am, I read all the time about cannabis. And I came across an article that they were interviewing Willie Nelson. And the headline was, I can't remember the exact headline, but it had something to do with now we have to, basically he said, now we, just because we have legalization doesn't mean the fight is over. We are going to have to fight big cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And the fight's not even over with big tobacco, big pharma, big alcohol. It's not even over. No. But now we have to contend also with big cannabis, and we cannot become complacent because it is Kel said this about what we were, the medical licensing or whatever, but it's a money game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a money game. They're raising the price of our medical license to $30 because it was $15, and they're like, we want more money and we're just going to take it from you while they destroy our medical industry. It's like another piece of destruction to our medical industry, because $15 is a lot of money for some people. Depending on the week, it's a lot of money for me. If I find $15 in my pocket, y'all, you don't understand how excited I get.
Yeah.
And humble brag, there's not a lot that I want for. But if I find $15 in my pocket, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm rich today.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who rely on that $15. It's not just a bonus. It's like they rely on it to eat, to get transportation, and to get their medicine.
So for taxes to go up, for our medical system to go down, for patients to not have access, because there's not a medical facility close by to them. You can't get there.
That too. And so there's not a medical facility close by. And so I have to drive 3 hours to get to my medical facility because there's not one near me. And I live in wherever I live. And I can't buy in bulk. So anyways.
So yes, things have been, as we allow for taxation and for adult use to be taxed and to be told that it's different than medical, and really the only difference is the tax, then we as medical patients have to stand up and say what happens when, some states aren't even opening any medical. It's just going straight into adult use, and so it doesn't even give that chance for growth of the idea of cannabis being medicinal, and beneficial, and it's just seen as, just like alcohol, which we know it's very opposite. It's like, okay, if you want to regulate it and tax it in the same vein, like along some of those structures, then get it, because you don't have anything to compare it to. But
they do.
And at the same time, it's like, again, why then do we have these certain parameters on cannabis that you don't have on liquor?
Right. Well, also the other thing about the taxing, they just, now that at least this happens in my city, and you can tell me if it's happening in yours too. I don't know. But I feel like every time Durango needs money, they go, we're going to raise taxes on the dispensaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does that fall on just our shoulders? Doesn't everybody live here?
Yeah, and isn't everyone benefiting from this too? Like, okay,
why aren't you doing a citywide tax that we are included in, and everybody gets taxed a little bit instead of taxing us a lot?
Because we're the ones that make it, okay, like I said, making billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure big tobacco and big alcohol probably have people that say the same thing about their in defense of their industry. So
yeah, but like, look how cheap alcohol is.
Well, again,
even with taxes,
it can be sourced all over. It can be,
exactly. You can cross state lines with it.
State lines.
My joint keeps going out. If you guys think I'm crazy, I'm not. It's just not playing fair today. Or maybe I need to pack it a little tighter.
Good.
So yeah, it's New Jersey, do better, Colorado, do better, and Pennsylvania. Let's hit on that one real quick, because I have that story pulled up too. So this is a story out of Pennsylvania. Thanks, Next, for sending it over. So it says larger companies, larger companies control Pennsylvania's medical marijuana market because of high licensing fees and financing requirements, access to capital, and a limited number of licenses combined to keep smaller outfits out of the game. Excuse me. Hey, everybody, hydrate. And I'm going to cover this because they don't pay me. Okay. So this goes on to say that publicly traded and private multi-state operators now control 83% of the medical market in Pennsylvania. That is fucking insane. That's fucking insane. I'm not going to name the people because that's what we don't do corporations. These are all publicly traded companies. On January 20th, in Wakefield, Mass, one of them announced that they're opening. You know what? Can we pause for a minute? And I want to segment back to what is Canna Queen mad about today?
You're
Because
like,
I just
wait, hold up, change.
pause because I just got mad about something, and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but a little bit does. I need more responsible reporting. Please stop calling it pot shops.
Oh, yeah, right.
Please stop dumbing us down. Please stop making us sound like one of those, like, I don't know, like not even a serious business. It kind of sounds like that when you say it like that. It sounds like we're selling weed at the flea market. I mean, just stop it. I mean, just please stop it. That's what I'm mad about today. Okay, back to the story. Because the reason I stopped is because, like, right here is like more pot stores in Pennsylvania. Just like stop. You know they're called dispensaries. Yeah. Just call it a dispensary.
Or how about more cash makers?
Yeah, or just say more cannabis stores. Like, just say that, or dispensary. You can use the proper terminology. You are making a report. You bothered to put a whole fucking chart in here to break down people surveyed who think that cannabis should be legal or not. You bothered to put your story together and, make sure that you had all of the right sourcing and everything. So I'm not even bitching about your sourcing at all, but you write for, I get you're writing for just like your regular paper, but like, even if you wrote for like a cannabis publication, I would expect the same thing. I'm just so tired of seeing it's like it makes me stop in my tracks when I see stuff like that. I can't stand it because it makes me think that you don't take us seriously. Pot stores, pot shops. It sounds like somebody rolled my car in and dismantled it and sold it for parts. That's what it sounds like. You're talking about our stores like that.
Right.
Anyways, okay. So Pennsylvania is making it difficult basically because of their high costs and difficult entry fee to get into the cannabis market. So getting into the Pennsylvania's medical market is not cheap. The Department of Health application fees range from $5,000 to $10,000, along with annual fees ranging up to $200,000 plus, ranging up to $200,000 plus proof of fiscal resources. I mean, what?
200,000? What?
I mean, what? How is a small business supposed to compete? Like, even get entry? You can fuck competing. And this is a crazy thing, you guys. Those small little shops usually have the best customer service, the best, most knowledgeable workers, the best product on their shelf because they rely on making sure that everything is the best. They can't afford to have lackluster. They can't afford that. They are absolutely the best places to go a majority of the time, because a lot of these corporate companies, that they only care about the bottom line. When you have a small business owner, they care about the people coming in and seeing them every day. They care about the product that they're putting on the shelf. They care about the workforce that they present and the face that they present. They care about those things. And I'm telling you, these large operators do not care about these things. Or I won't say, because nothing's 100% when we talk about stuff like this. I will say a majority of them do not give a shit, because there's somebody else is going to come in and buy their product because it's, on sale, or they can afford to have these deals because they can afford to buy in bulk. And it's they got $250,000 in your pocket, and they got $250,000 in their pocket, and that's why they can afford to do in multiple states. Okay, these are multi-state operators, which means that they had a $250,000 in their pocket for Pennsylvania, and they had $250,000 in their pocket. Is it time? It's 4:20. It's 4:20.
I don't know what happened to my sound. Am I back?
4:20 on the West Coast. Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Are you back?
No, she's leaving. Why is she leaving? Because she can't hear me. Did her alarm? You muted my mic. What is happening? I can hear you. I
don't know what the fuck.
She can't hear me, y'all. This is our technical difficulty of the day.
I don't want to end it. I don't want to do the
Don't
same
end
thing
it.
I freaking did last time.
Don't you fucking dare. I'm not done talking.
I just can't hear y'all. I can't hear you.
I know. I can tell.
It's me because of however the fuck this stupid.
Don't hit end. Figure your controls out.
Me. Let me see.
Turn your alarm off. Oh my god. It's funny.
Don't hit end. It's different on the phone. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to touch it.
It should have a leave room situation. I don't know. I'll let her figure that out. I'm going to mute you while you figure that out. Okay. So that way she's not, maybe we'll figure it out in a minute. But this is the problem. This is a problem with access to things. In this article too, you guys, there's somebody from here. This guy, Todd Hughes, is the chair, the chair of the board of Minority Cannabis Business Association in Washington, D.C., which is an advocacy group. And he says it's not necessarily access to capital. Oh, it's not? It's lack of licenses. So I will partially agree on that it is like they put caps on these licenses, but you can't tell me that it's not capital too. Lack of capital. Are you kidding? Yeah, it is. I don't know if he knows. I mean, he speaks for a group, an advocacy group based in DC, but can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. He's speaking for an advocacy group based in DC, but like I feel like it's a little tone deaf to say that it's not entrance fees or access to equity markets for capital. He says it's the cap on licenses. I think it's both. So only 25 permits for marijuana cultivation will be issued in Pennsylvania, along with 50 dispensary licenses, which allow applicants to open 3 stores. That caps the number of stores operating in the state to 150. That is true. The only way an operator can expand is to buy stores that are already operational and the owner's looking to sell, and those are around 25 million each, average. So again, I want to know, what do you mean access to capital isn't the problem? What is I don't think that that's true.
And you can't get finance. It's not like you can just get financing. So
You ain't getting a loan to open
a loan. You're not
cannabis
getting
store.
a loan. You know, investors are.
What are you opening? That's what they'll say. What are you opening? And you got to be careful with investors because they're not always.
Nope.
You know.
Yep.
You know. So, but that's it. That's diversity in cannabis. There is none. There is none, even when they promise us some. They say, "Oh,
like we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna say the words, but we're not gonna really. It's not gonna really be a real thing.
It's all lip service, you guys." And I want to say too that cannabis should be legal, or at minimum decriminalized right now. Cannabis should be legal or decriminalized in the nation right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Because that's why we voted for you. Nobody wanted to vote for Joe Biden. Am I wrong?
No, I don't believe so. Not at least in my circle. Everyone's like, I guess it's a lesser.
I guess.
I know. Is that?
Do you want to get the vote from?
I guess.
Do you want to win a popularity contest on I guess? Ew, bro. And then you lied. You and your vice president lied. Don't let us shut this off until we talk about some facts in Black history, but because I have some pulled up. I was like, what am I supposed to do next? But they lied. Like they told us that they were going to decriminalize cannabis and expunge records. They told us they were going to do that. We said, that sounds like a plan. That's what we want. That's what we've been asking for. At minimum, decriminalize. We want legalization, but at minimum, we can start here. And also expunge the records of anybody who has a low level, especially cannabis, but a low level nonviolent drug offense. And honestly, you guys don't understand how progressive I am about the prison system. Honestly, you don't understand how progressive I am about it. I believe in my heart and soul that if you were arrested on a low level, nonviolent cannabis offense, especially because cannabis is legal now in a majority of the states, that not only should your record be expunged, but there should be no question about expunging your record because of something that happened while you were in jail. Those additional charges should also be dropped, because if not for you being in jail on a bullshit cannabis offense, you probably wouldn't have gotten in that fight and defended yourself in prison. So you should be able to go home. Time served. Thank you very much. We'll consider that injury or taking of another's life a consequence of the bullshit reason that you're in prison. Like, seriously. I also think that once you've served your time, and I don't care what your crime was, by the way, once you've served your time, that you should be able to vote. And I'm not saying that people like repeat sex offenders shouldn't be on a registry and be paid attention to and things like that. But I also think that we need to think about circumstances, because some people out there have been charged with sexual offenses and are sex offenders for doing shit like peeing on a wall outside. Or turning 19 and continuing to date their girlfriend that they've been dating for 4 years that her parents don't approve of. There are some people out there like that. A majority of these cases, I would say, are real, and those people need to be on the registry or whatever. But I'm saying, like, we need to like really pay attention to what the fuck we're talking about when we put people on the registry. All I'm saying is, when you get out of jail and you don't have the ability to vote, especially in a national election, what does your crime have to do with your right to have representation? Are you muted? You're muted.
Sorry, the dog was doing things and I was like,
it's okay. I don't understand. Anyways, okay. So we're going over time. So I'm going to say some facts that I learned. I'm learning some things too. So there's things that I didn't know. There's something that I found very interesting today that two things came across my feed today. And I should post these on our page. I'm going to post these on our page. I'm going to try to remember to do that because I said that about something the other day.
I know we said
totally
it about
forgot.
it last week too, and I forgot.
So I don't think I saved the right thing here, but let me see. I'm going to go to this person's page where I saw it. So one of the first things I saw today was a picture of probably a middle-aged Black woman. And she was a larger woman and her breasts were out and she was breastfeeding a small white child. And it had a caption on it and it said, I can just look at the caption and see what it says. It has a caption on it and it says, this same baby was taught that he was too good to drink from the same water fountain as Blacks. But absolutely, there is a history of slaves and also after slavery, the help breastfeeding the children that they took care of that were not their children. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But they weren't allowed to use the bathroom inside. They couldn't drink from the same water fountain, couldn't shop in the same spaces, couldn't eat at the same bars, couldn't sit in certain sections of the public transportation. But your child can breastfeed. You're using their life force.
Mm-hmm. Lots of that. To nourish your child because you're too busy for your child, which means you also should probably not have had one, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Okay, so this other post was about Sundown Towns. Do you know what that is? No. You don't know what that is. Okay. So a sundown town is a town that says that they set time limits for when yes, I
black
do.
Black and brown individuals can be in town. And I don't know if you guys knew this. This isn't common now, but there are still some counties inside of the state, of different states, that absolutely acknowledge sundowns. And if you are Black or brown individual, you should not be in those towns after dark, because if you are, your life is in danger, literally. And they used to have signs up when you came in and on your way out of the city or the county or wherever. And it would say things like whites only within city limits after dark. Don't let the sun set on you. Don't let the sun set on you here. Understand? There was a book that circulated within the Black community called the Green Book. So it was a list of it was basically a list of where you could and could not be after sunset in the United States. So there were some pioneers and advocates who would travel the country, and they would document where it was safe to be after sundown. And yes, Oklahoma is one of the states that still has sundown areas, sundown spaces. Not the whole state, obviously, but there are counties within the state that, or do you call them counties? I don't know. Who cares? That if you are a person of color, you should not be in that area after dark, because it could be detrimental to your life. And that is unacceptable ever. But it's 2022, y'all. Like, I can't fucking emphasize this enough. It's just like, what? Okay. So those were the two interesting facts that I wanted to bring today. Oh, I want to share this today. This was shared a few days ago. Starting today, schools in Illinois can no longer ban cornrows, locks, afros, and braids from school, which is a really big deal because
it's huge.
Dehumanizing an individual over their hair is disgusting to me, and lots of these places have been caught doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's on Black History, y'all. If there's any stories or facts that you would like to hear us talk about, we are sharing stories and facts about people in the past, present, and people that we might see in our future too, especially during this entire month. But we're going to try to continue that throughout the year, because Black history is American history. So we're not going to deny it. And we're going to try to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. But if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, we would love to get those stories. You could send us any kind of correspondence. Just, if you want to like chit chat, ask us questions, you could send us any kind of correspondence you want to. cannabiscloset420@gmail.com. You could also come hang out with us in the Discord. Let me get that link for you guys. Some of you guys have already signed up. We really appreciate it. We really love seeing your names come through. Definitely join us on some video chats in the future. We have a good old time. And a lot of times we share what's going on business-wise. So things that we're not necessarily sharing here, we share there. We talk about there. So let me share that Discord link for you. Don't forget that I'm not going to be here necessarily. I think I might join you guys maybe later on, if I can still get on. You guys are still on, but on Monday, February 14th, on Valentine's Day, be here for Valentine's Day show. We have Keisha King is coming on. We also, I believe, have another special guest. I don't want to announce until the day of, because I know that she gets busy. But we also have another special guest coming on, and we're going to be talking about sex and cannabis, the truths, the myths, the best products, and potentially strains that you could utilize to make your happy parts happier. So definitely join us on Monday, February 14th. Have us in the background of your Valentine's Day dinner. We'll be talking about sex, and maybe that'll get you in the mood for sex. So we look forward to having you here. I'm kind of disappointed I'm going to miss a majority of the show, but I do hope that I'm able to jump on. I'm going to actually, depending on how ridiculous it is to do this, and if there's availability to do it, because it could depend on the flight, I'm going to try to get internet and see if I can't join while I'm in the air. So happy parts. Mine are happy. I figure everybody else's are too.
Hey, cannabis makes us all happier, right? Why not happy?
Yes. So next week is going to be a great week. We're going to be talking about sex on Monday, and then on And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a follow-up show. Keisha's going to come back with us on Wednesday. And then my friend Chan is also going to be on, and we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a midwife, why it could be important to choose that path. We're going to talk about a little bit about cannabis as a part of your plan, and also the history of midwives. So really excited to have those conversations. I cannot wait. But that's all going to be next week. So set your alarms and calendars. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. It helps boost our algorithm and lets more people out there know that we're here. They don't have to use cannabis. Sometimes we don't even talk about cannabis. Sometimes we talk about other bullshit. But just because somebody isn't using it doesn't mean that they're not an ally for us, and doesn't mean that they don't need to be educated about it. Because honestly, like MJ said at the beginning of the show, we're really tired of good seed, bad. Did you say this show, or did you say this on Monday? You might have said on Monday, but we're tired of the good seed, bad seed conversation. Like, good seeds and bad seeds are based on whether or not the seed is viable to create a plant, not whether or not it's got a yellow tag or a blue tag. I'm referencing Colorado right now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter which market it comes out of. Cannabis is cannabis if it's grown right, if it's grown properly, and if you have a viable seed, then that's a good fucking seed, y'all. It's a good seed. And even if it turns out to be a boy, it's a good seed. But he might not be able to continue his journey on. But I love seeds for that reason, because I like the surprise of it all. I like to, I'll catch a male right away, or I just love it all. I love finding out what's going to happen next and letting her do her thing naturally. So
I know.
Anyways,
I would like to try and maybe just pop a couple and have them, with the rest of my plants this summer.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah.
You have a good window space for that.
Yeah, I need to get some of those lights or whatever to help. Just sometimes there's not enough light coming in, so
to extend your hours.
Yeah, so I just gotta supplement them that way. Part of my problem is when I travel too long, a few of my plants need attention, and my roommate's not always available to do that. So I'm like,
same. My roommate's not always available to do that either.
Pay someone to come water my plants.
I called him my roommate. He's gonna love that.
Is he in here today? No.
I haven't seen him in here today. He might be just like lurking. I don't mind if y'all lurk, by the way. We don't mind.
No, we don't mind, but definitely pop in and say hey. What up? We
also like knowing you're here. Yeah.
I can only see certain numbers or whatever, so I just kind of rely on whomever's in the one of my girlfriends like, I listened in, did you know? And I was like, no, I can't see unless you comment.
Yeah, you gotta say it. You gotta say hey.
Comment.
If you want
us to know. Say what's up, So yeah, it's really appreciate everyone that's been popping in. Can't wait for Monday. I'll be bringing you the show from Hawaii.
She'll be in Hawaii, y'all. This bitch got invited to go to Hawaii to babysit a fucking cat.
It's a once in a lifetime. The universe aligned itself. Kind of.
Yeah, she's lucky
with my with my sister being able to watch Lady, with not having a clinic because we couldn't get housing, in one of our clinic spaces.
Lucky.
It just the universe aligned after, and again, we got our work done.
Yes. Word.
I'm still gonna be working up until regardless, I'll make sure that this keeps on flowing. So you don't have to worry about it at all.
Yay. I'm excited for not having to worry about it at all.
And then we'll have Monday's show, and then you'll be back on Wednesday, and
I'm excited.
Yeah.
You guys, be nice to yourself. Put your mask on before assisting others.
Yes. Cultivate love.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve it.
You absolutely do. And
stay lifted.
Stay lifted. Stay lifted.
Be safe.
We love you guys. We're going to see you on Monday. Have an excellent weekend. See you soon.
Love you.
Thanks for rolling up with us today.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us and making it worth our while to do this. We appreciate it. All right. We'll see you.